Here's a Tom Hauser piece that was posted late yesterday. Ellison is now saying a conservative group is trying to smear him for political reasons in a response to a secret audio recording posted by the Center of the American Experiment. Well, the Center of the American Experiment, Keith, didn't take that recording. They were made privy to it. The nearly hour-long audio recording includes a conversation between Ellison and a group of East African business leaders in 2021, some of whom later were charged in the Feeding Our Future fraud. Keith Ellison can clearly be heard pledging his support to individuals who would soon become his family's campaign donors and later Feeding Our Future criminal defendants. The center posted on its website his recorded statements flatly contradict his contemporaneous public statements and raise uncomfortable questions about the intersection between political fundraising and constituent services. But because America is now completely screwed up, looking at the behavior of Keith Ellison is merely an attempt by conservative thinking people to smear him. Never mind that he might very well be guilty. He might very well not be. But it should be looked at. It should not be looked at.
There are now 2 audio recordings.
I'm getting to that in my update.
Yeah, it's interesting how this is playing out.
Channel 4 weighed in with a headline that says, leaked audio shows Minnesota AG Ellison vowing to support a group, including now convicted defendants in the case. Okay, and now we have from the center, or is this center? Yes, the American Experiment, a second leaked audio links Ellison to Feeding Our Future. Another leaked audio recording links Ellison to Feeding Our Future. This much earlier recording, June of 2021, raises more questions about Ellison's public statements on the case and his office's less than adequate representation of the State Department of Education. Last week, American Experiment exclusively published a 55-minute audio recording dated December 11, 2021, featuring Ellison meeting with a half dozen or so individuals associated with the nonprofit Feeding Our Future. That audio was recorded just 9 days before Ellison received several campaign donations from individuals linked to Feeding Our Future. 1 month after that, in January of 2022, the FBI shut down the fraud and closed Feeding Our Future. To be clear, no one mentioned by name in this post has been accused of any wrongdoing. You may have seen this selfie taken by A.G. Ellison as a picture of Ellison and some of his buddies.
Alleged buddies.
American Experiment was sent the following 19-second video.
I have both of those if you are ready.
Well, I didn't learn anything from this. The man standing is Abshir Omar, the Feeding Our Future consultant. The man seated on the right is Omar Fateh, DFL Minneapolis. Isn't Omar running for mayor?
Sure is, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. According to campaign finance records, Abshir Omar donated $1,000 to Senator Fateh's re-election campaign in November of 2021. In addition to Abshir's, Senator Fateh collected 6 other donations on that date. It is alleged that the video above was shot November 14, 2021. From the short video, it is not clear what subject is being discussed, but the word food is mentioned by Abshir at the 11-second mark. I'd be glad to play it for you, but I don't know what it is I'm supposed to take away from this. Does anyone? Well, watch you listen to it, and then you can tell me.
Themselves, refuse to give names, ID numbers.
You guys recorded that? I hope you recorded that.
Oh, it's all recorded, and we communicated with them. And then they lied about the quality of services being provided. So they grabbed a box of food and they ran, and the site provider was like, "Hey, you need to pick up the milk and the protein. The meat over here."
Yeah.
They're separate stations.
Okay, I'm more than willing to indict every single Somali I can run into that's involved in this, but I didn't learn anything from that.
What you can glean, though, is the fact that why was Omar Fateh even there to begin with?
And being there is where?
Well, whatever this
I don't know what this is.
Okay.
I don't know what this is. But it could have something to do with campaign donations. Below are the campaign donations accepted by the Ellisons, father and son, and Senator Fateh from individuals linked to the Feeding Our Future scandal. I suggest what GLers could do is go to AmericanExperiment.org, find this story for yourself, and yes, there is an impressive list of people who receive campaign donations from the Feeding Our Future crowd. That's what I would do. And then we also learn we were sent a 54-second audio recording, allegedly recorded much earlier. From the audio, it sounds as if the recording is of a telephone call or a Zoom meeting. I'm not playing that either. We are told that the meeting included Abshir Omar, Senator Fateh, State Senator Nick France, that's DFL Mankato, and Attorney General Ellison. The subject appears to be the ongoing state lawsuit between Feeding Our Future and the State Department of Education. The audio mentions a contempt ruling filed against MDE. MDE, of course, was represented in the lawsuit by Ellison's office. That's the lawsuit where the Feeding Our Future was literally suing MDE because their scam had slowed down. The payments were not forthcoming, and they sued. A judge did not rule that MDA should pay them. The judge ruled that you have to let them know one way or the other. Mm-hmm. Okay. If that's all correct, it calls into question the timeline of what Keith Ellison knew and when he knew it. Boy, these stories always come down to that, don't they? Who knew what? Who knew what and when? Mm-hmm. Now here's the Walz administration, of course, praised Feeding Our Future. It went out of its way to praise the help given by Feeding Our Future to Afghan refugees in the fall of 21. You'll recall that Minnesota sought to take a leadership role in resettling refugees in the chaotic U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in August 2021. Anybody recall that? I do.
Oh, boy.
I do.
Yeah.
Walz extended a welcoming mat for refugees from Afghanistan. In a letter to President Biden, Walz and Peggy Flanagan offered to work with the federal government to continue Minnesota's history of welcoming refugees by assisting with the resettlement of people fleeing Afghanistan. In fact, during the one-year period from September 21 to September 22, the Walz administration reportedly took in more than 1,300 Afghan refugees. Okay. Apparently, the State Department of Employment and Economic Development played some role in the refugee effort. At the time, DEED, the department, was headed by Commissioner Steve Grove, who, conveniently enough, has now become publisher of the Minnesota Star Tribune. A lot of issue has been made recently about Exhibit 710 from Amy Bach's defense exhibits. That's the 54-minute audio recording of Ellison and several individuals involved in the scandal. Heard on the recording leading the discussion is Abshir Omar, a Feeding Our Future consultant. I guess that's why that second video is germane. It also features Abshir Jomar. Omar himself has never been accused of any wrongdoing. The tape was never introduced during the trial. All right. Walz, I guess there's nothing else about Walz. Let's see. Exhibit 711, published here, also not introduced at the trial, includes an exchange of emails between Abshir Omar and DEED Assistant Commissioner Anissa Hajimuman, the head of the agency's Immigrant and Refugees Affairs effort. From Hajimuman, DEED, to Abshir, copied to Amy Bach. Abshir, thank you for the thorough update and the great effort you put forward for the Afghan community members. I appreciate the work you and Amy are doing and look forward to supporting any way I can. Best, Anissa. Well, I don't know that fraud's being suggested in that email. It doesn't seem like it. The Afghans have to eat too, you know. Bill Glahn notes he previously documented how Anissa's position at Deed was funded by a private corporation headquartered in California. She eventually left Deed to work for a nonprofit, Somali Community Resettlement Services. The nonprofit itself had been linked to the food scandal. Neither Anissa nor anyone from Somali Community Resettlement Services has been accused of any wrongdoing. But what we are left with is a state government official appointed by Walz and Steve Grove praising the work of Feeding Our Future and Amy Bach. At the time, October 2021, Feeding Our Future was under active investigation by the FBI and locked in a death struggle with another state agency, the Department of Education, to which I would add, to get their money to continue flowing. It should be noted that Steve Grove's Star Tribune is yet to cover the story of Keith Ellison's Feeding Our Future audio recording, despite significant coverage from Carol Evan, WCCO, Fox 9, Alpha News, Center of the American Experiment, and the St. Paul Pioneer Press, and Garage Logic.
Oh, we were named in the story?
No, I just named us.
Added that.
I added us. That's today's update.
Here's today's food fraud update.
It's just an amazing series of events. But you got the wrong. No, if you're a fraudster, you got exactly the right governor in place.